Ladies and gentlemen, I need you to lean in tonight, because what I'm about to tell you may change how you see her, how you remember her, and maybe even how you loved her. She'll laugh with her friends. She'll post photos, go out, act like life is better without you. She'll show the world a version of herself that looks untouched, unfazed, and unbothered. She'll say she's fine, that she's moved on, that you didn't mean that much after all. But don't be fooled. She's pretending. And while the world applauds her strength, while you think she's forgotten you, something deep inside her is ticking. A quiet, steady buildup. Because no matter how well she fakes indifference, no matter how high she builds her walls, what's buried doesn't die. It waits, and when it starts to surface, it won't whisper, it'll scream. It'll drive her insane. So I'm telling you, stay with me tonight. Because before this message is done, you will understand the very moment she breaks, and why. She pretends she doesn't care, but it's not because she's over you. It's because she has to survive. She wears pride like armor. Not because she's heartless, but because she's wounded. And the world has taught her that if she shows weakness, she loses. If she shows pain, she's pitied. So she fakes a smile, and she walks on, brave on the outside, but bleeding on the inside. But hear me now. A woman's silence is not always peace. Sometimes it's just a louder kind of pain. Sometimes, indifference is just heartbreak in disguise. There's a war going on inside her. Pride says, don't go back, don't admit it hurt. But her soul still aches for the touch, the laugh, the comfort she found in you. She'll block your number, but reread your old messages. She'll avoid your street, but still dream of your face. That's not peace, that's prison. And the longer she pretends, the louder that war becomes. Because emotions don't die quietly. They demand to be felt. It's not the big things that break her. It's the little ones. The scent of your cologne on someone walking past. The song you played in the car. The way someone else says her name, but it doesn't feel right. That's what drives her insane. Not because she still wants you, but because she still feels you. She'll pretend not to notice. She'll keep sipping her coffee. She'll laugh at the joke. But in her mind, something cracks. That memory rushes in uninvited, and it hurts. And the more she tries to outrun it, the faster it catches her. People say she's cold now, that she's changed, that she's harder. But here's the truth. Love leaves echoes, and echoes don't just disappear. They bounce around her heart, louder with time. You think she doesn't care anymore? She does. But caring without being cared for back, it's exhausting. So she shut the door, hoping silence would save her. But silence is cruel. Because when the world sleeps, the memories speak. And in those hours, she doesn't feel strong. She feels stranded. Then comes the tipping point. The day you randomly cross her mind while she's in a meeting. The photo that shows up in her memories. The anniversary she didn't mean to remember. And it all hits her at once. Every word you said, every moment you shared, every tear she swallowed. And suddenly, she's not pretending anymore. Her heart's beating too fast. Her breath's caught in her throat. She can't focus. She can't fake it. And she wonders, did you ever really care? Did it mean anything to you? Was she just easy to forget? That's when it starts to drive her insane. Not because she still wants you back, but because she gave her soul to someone who vanished like a stranger. Now listen to me. This isn't about guilt. This isn't about blame. This is about truth. Because sometimes we don't lose people because they stopped loving us. We lose them because they got tired of pretending they didn't. And if you've ever wondered what's really going on behind her distance, behind her silence, behind her new attitude, this is it. She cared, maybe too much. She hurt, maybe too long, and now she's pretending, but not forever. Because sooner or later, what she tried to bury will rise. And when it does, it won't be calm. It'll be a storm, and you'll know. She didn't stop caring. She just got tired of showing it first. She'll look like she's over it. She'll talk like she's unbothered. She'll go on with her life as if nothing ever touched her deeply. She'll laugh a little louder, walk a little taller, and wear her confidence like a new coat. And if you're not looking closely, if you only see the surface, you'll believe her. You'll believe that she never cared in the first place. That you were just another chapter she flipped through without rereading. But let me tell you something, that's an illusion. A fragile mask held together by pride, pain, and the desperate need to stay standing. She doesn't wear indifference because she feels nothing. She wears it because feeling everything almost destroyed her. And now she thinks pretending is safer than breaking again. The world taught her that vulnerability is weakness, that if she cries, she'll be dismissed, that if she reaches out, she'll be rejected. So instead, she holds her breath and acts like she's fine. She convinces even her closest friends that she's healed, that she's busy, that she's unshaken. She posts her highlights, not her heartache. She shares smiles, not sorrow. But inside, the story is different. Inside, she replays conversations, wonders what went wrong, and questions why someone who once held her heart so tightly let it fall so easily. But you won't see that. Not unless you look past the pride, past the surface, past the armor she's built piece by piece. Because that's the real reason she pretends, not because she's cold, but because she was too warm with someone who didn't know what to do with the fire she offered. She gave her soul, not just her time. She gave her depth, not just her body. And when it ended, she had two choices. Break down for the world to see, or build up a wall so high no one would know how much she was hurting. She chose the wall. And now to everyone watching, she's doing just fine. But pretending has a cost. Every time she says she doesn't care, a small part of her remembers that she once did, fiercely. Every time she shrugs something off, a memory tugs at her. She remembers the way her heart beat faster when she saw your name. She remembers the way she used to feel safe, even in silence. And though she tries to push it all away, the truth remains. Indifference isn't her truth, it's her shield. A shield to keep her from feeling again what she swore she'd never let herself feel again. So don't be fooled by her calm. Don't mistake her distance for healing. And don't assume that just because she's quiet, she's free. The illusion of indifference is strong, but it's not invincible. Behind every cold glance is a warm memory she's trying to erase. Behind every dry laugh is a deep ache she's trying to forget. She didn't stop caring. She just got tired of showing up for someone who never noticed she was breaking. There's a battle raging inside her that no one sees. It doesn't scream, it doesn't shout, it simmers, quietly, daily. It's the battle between her pride and her pain. On the outside, she looks composed, distant maybe, strong, definitely. She goes through her day with her head held high, never letting anyone see the cracks. But on the inside, something entirely different is happening. Her pride tells her not to call, not to text, not to care. It tells her she's better than this, stronger than this, above all of it. But her pain? Her pain doesn't care about dignity. Her pain just wants relief. It wants to reach out at 2 a.m. when sleep won't come. It wants to scroll through old conversations just to feel something familiar again. Her pride says, forget him. Her pain says, but you loved him. And so she fights this quiet war every single day. She sees your name somewhere, and pride tells her to keep walking. But pain? Pain pauses. Pain remembers. Pain wonders. She hears your favorite song in a coffee shop, and pride keeps her eyes forward. But pain whispers every lyric like it's still etched into her soul. And this conflict, it's not a small one. It consumes her. It tears at her peace. Because pride is trying to protect her, but pain is still trying to process what happened. She doesn't want to look weak. She doesn't want to be the one who cared more. So she builds this image, untouchable, unfazed. But what you don't see is the cost of keeping that image intact. There are nights when she picks up the phone, types a message, then deletes it. Not once, not twice, but 5 times, 10 times, because pride won't let her hit send. There are mornings she wakes up with your name on her heart and goes through the entire day pretending like it never crossed her mind. She could be surrounded by people, laughing at someone's joke, and suddenly, she feels the sting of missing you. Not because she wants you back, not because she's hoping you'll show up, but because you were part of her. And now that part aches in silence. Her pride tells her to heal faster. Her pain tells her healing isn't linear, and so she hides it, all of it. She shows up with perfect makeup, perfect posture, perfect poise. But inside, she's exhausted. Tired of the pretending, tired of the fighting, tired of having to prove. She's okay when she's not. Every time she scrolls past something that reminds her of you, pride says, "Don't feel anything." Pain says, "Too late." And no one knows. No one notices, because she's too good at hiding it now. She's mastered the performance. But just because she's silent doesn't mean she's healed. Just because she hasn't said your name doesn't mean she's forgotten it. Pride keeps her lips closed. Pain keeps her heart open. And together, they tear her apart from the inside out. She walked away, didn't she? Maybe slowly. Maybe all at once. Maybe with a final message. Maybe with nothing but silence. She distanced herself. Shut the door. Erased the photos. Unfollowed. Blocked. Moved on, or so it seemed. And you thought she was free. You thought that distance meant detachment. That if she wasn't reaching out, she wasn't feeling anything. That if she wasn't chasing you, she'd finally let go. But that's where the world gets it wrong. Emotional distance is not the same thing as emotional freedom. Just because she's not talking to you doesn't mean she stopped talking to herself about you. Just because she's not holding your hand doesn't mean she doesn't still feel the imprint of where your fingers used to rest. She created space, yes, but that space isn't peace. That space is full of noise, of memories, of what-ifs, of late-night questions that never got answers. She thought cutting you off would silence the pain. That if she unfollowed your life, it would stop echoing in hers. She told herself that distance would bring healing. But every mile between you became a weight, not a release. Because emotional distance might stop the contact, but it doesn't stop the connection. It doesn't stop the mind from wandering back to moments that felt real. It doesn't stop the heart from aching when she hears your name in a place she didn't expect to. It doesn't stop her from wondering if you ever look at the sky and think of her too. She walks through her life now with walls around her that weren't there before. Walls she had to build to keep herself from falling again. But freedom? No. This isn't freedom. This is protection. And there's a difference. She tells herself it's better this way, that she's doing fine. But deep down, she knows she didn't really let go. She just locked the feelings away and threw the key somewhere she can't quite find. She still has flashbacks in grocery stores, still feels your presence when a stranger says something only you used to say, still catches herself in moments of joy, wishing she could send it to you. And then remembering she can't. Emotional distance was her only way of surviving. It wasn't her first choice. It was her last defense. She didn't want to walk away. She had to, because staying meant breaking more than she already had. And yet, even in her distance, you're still there. Not in her life, but in the empty space where you used to be. In the smile she fakes when people ask about love. In the way she avoids your name like it might set her whole soul on fire again. She's not free. She's holding her breath, living in a kind of limbo where she's too far to reach for you and too close to ever really forget. Distance may have separated your bodies, but it never finished the conversation between your hearts. It's never the big things that undo her, not the final argument, not the last goodbye, not even seeing you with someone else. No, what starts. To drive her insane are the small things, the quiet things, the triggers hidden in the folds of ordinary life. It's the smell of your cologne lingering on someone who walks past her in a crowd. It's the familiar cadence of your voice in a stranger's laugh. It's a movie you once watched together playing on TV in the background at a friend's house. It's the way someone grabs their coffee the same way you used to. These moments sneak up on her, undetected, uninvited, and hit her like a ghost she thought she buried long ago. You see, she's built a whole routine around forgetting. She's changed her hair, rearranged her room, deleted the playlist, tossed the hoodie, and told herself over and over again that she's fine. She's repeated that lie so often, she almost believes it. But healing doesn't come with a calendar, and closure doesn't always knock politely. Sometimes it explodes in the middle of a normal day, during a song on the radio, or a conversation that goes sideways and suddenly reminds her of you. And in those moments, her breath catches, her heart races, her eyes glaze, not because she wants to cry, but because her body remembers something her mind is trying so hard to forget. She could be walking down the cereal aisle and spot the exact brand you used to eat on lazy Sundays, and for a second, she's right back there. Your laugh echoing through the kitchen, your arms wrapped around her waist, the warmth, the simplicity, the peace. Then she blinks and remembers she's alone. And what follows is a hollowness that words can't quite touch. It's these tiny flashbacks, these everyday ambushes that unravel the strength she's worked so hard to build. People think time heals, that if you just wait long enough, the memories will fade. But time doesn't erase, it hides. And then life, in all its ordinary ways, uncovers those memories at the worst possible times. She can go weeks, even months, feeling okay, until she hears someone say the exact phrase you once whispered in her ear, or sees your favorite candy at the checkout counter. And just like that, her mask slips. Her guard falls. And that old ache comes roaring back, not because she's weak, but because you were real. Because what you shared mattered. Because her heart remembers, even when her mouth refuses to speak your name. She may look composed. She may carry herself with grace. But the smallest detail can send her spiraling inward. The triggers aren't loud. They don't announce themselves. They slip through the cracks, soft, subtle, surgical. They don't ask for permission. They just arrive, and when they do, all that pretending, all that strength, all that "I'm over it," begins to tremble like glass in an earthquake. They think she's cold now, that she's changed, that she's become distant, different, too quiet, too guarded. And maybe she has. Maybe her smile doesn't come as easily. Maybe she doesn't talk about love the way she used to. Maybe she doesn't light up when someone mentions your name anymore. But that doesn't mean she's healed. That doesn't mean she's forgotten. What they don't understand, what most people never see, is that real love doesn't just vanish. It echoes. Long after the person is gone. Long after the conversations have ended. Long after the touch has faded. Love like that leaves traces, like fingerprints on glass. And those traces don't wipe away with time. They linger, quietly, constantly. She doesn't speak of you, not because she doesn't remember, but because she remembers too well. She knows the weight of your name. She knows how it feels in her mouth, how it shakes something loose in her chest. So she doesn't say it, not to her friends, not to herself, because saying it means calling something back from the past that still has the power to make her knees weak. The memories are unspoken, but they're everywhere. They're in the song that plays when she's alone in the car, They're in the recipes she avoids cooking. They're in the way she turns her head when she hears someone say something you used to say. Those aren't coincidences. They're echoes. People talk about closure like it's something you choose, like you wake up one day and decide you're done feeling. But she knows better. She knows that when you really love someone, when you open your soul and hand it to another person, you don't just close that door. You carry pieces of them with you, even when you don't want to, even when it hurts. She still hears your laugh in her memory, still sees that look in your eyes when you used to stare at her like she was the only thing that made sense. And it breaks something in her, because that love was real. And when real love ends, it doesn't disappear. It simply stops having a place to go. So it lingers in her. In the way she hesitates before trusting someone new. In the way she flinches when someone gets too close too quickly. In the way she guards her heart, not because she's bitter, but because she remembers how it felt to be left wide open with nothing left to give. That's what people don't see. That's what they don't understand. The version of her now is not who she was before. She's not softer because she loved and lost. She's harder because she had to be. Because loving you meant breaking in ways that apologies couldn't fix. And though she walks on, speaks less, laughs quieter, deep inside, your name still echoes where no one else can hear. There's a moment after the storm, after all the fighting, after the final message is read and deleted, when everything just goes quiet. At first, the silence feels like relief, like rest, like peace. She breathes. She thinks it's over, that maybe now she can finally heal. But then the silence lingers. It stretches its arms across her days and drapes its weight over her nights. It seeps into her routines, into her laughter, into the way she moves through a room. The quiet isn't empty. It's loud. It starts whispering the things she tried to forget. And slowly, steadily, that silence begins to scream. No one else can hear it, but she can. She hears it when her phone doesn't buzz anymore. When her mornings no longer begin with your voice. When she wakes up in the middle of the night and the side of the bed where you used to lay is still untouched, still cold, still painfully vacant. She hears it when she gets good news and instinctively reaches for her phone to tell you, before catching herself. She hears it in the way the room feels too big now, the way the world feels too quiet without your laughter bouncing off the walls of her life. The absence becomes a presence, the silence, deafening. It's a strange kind of grief, the kind that doesn't shout or cry out loud, the kind that sits beside you at dinner with friends while you smile and laugh and nod, all the while something inside is aching. Because silence isn't just the lack of sound, it's the space where something beautiful used to live. It's the echo of your voice where there is none now. It's the memory of how you said her name, how you looked at her when you thought she wasn't watching. That silence doesn't fade. It haunts. And what's worse is that no one sees it. No one checks on the girl who looks strong. No one notices the weight she's carrying because she carries it quietly. She keeps walking, keeps working, keeps smiling. But inside, that silence is tearing her apart. It shows up in her hesitation to open up again, in her short replies, in the way she doesn't ask too many questions anymore because she's tired of caring more than the other person. The silence reminds her that she gave her all once, and it still wasn't enough. And that truth is louder than any goodbye. She pretends like it doesn't matter, like she's past it. But when the world slows down, when the noise stops and no one's around, the silence returns, whispering the truth she's tried to bury, that she didn't stop loving you. She just stopped showing it, because every time she did, it felt like shouting into a void. So now she sits in the silence, not because she wants to, but because it's all she has left. And it screams every word she no longer says out loud. So if you see her now, calm, distant, smiling without depth. Don't be fooled. She's not empty. She's overflowing with everything she's been trying to bury. The illusion of indifference, the war between pride and pain, the emotional distance mistaken for freedom, the ordinary moments that trigger extraordinary heartache, the quiet echo of real love, and the silence that screams when no one else is listening. These are not signs that she never cared. They are proof that she cared too much, too deeply, too completely. She'll pretend she doesn't care. She'll walk away like nothing cracked her. But it's not detachment you're seeing. It's protection. Because somewhere along the way, love became the very thing that broke her. And now she stands there, armor polished, expression unbothered, heart still bleeding beneath the surface. And that's the truth. No one tells you. She didn't stop caring. She just got tired of showing it to someone who couldn't see it. Hold and honor it. And when that pretending turns to pain, when that pain becomes a storm behind her smile, when the silence starts screaming too loud to ignore, maybe, just maybe, that's when you'll realize. She never stopped caring. She just finally stopped showing it to you.